Hey everybody, what's up? This has to be one of my favorite videos of the entire year, every single year.
Yeah, it's just a video.
It's just a video. It's only the bourbons of the year. The bourbons of the year. That's what you guys are here for. We're going to tell you our top 10 bourbons of the year. Tell the rules. There's some criteria we have here.
Yes, we do have rules with this. There's no single barrels in this. If you want to see single barrels, we did another video on that. There's also no finished bourbons in this particular video. We're going to have a video with finished bourbons and rye and other stuff after this video. So this is all straight bourbon whiskeys.
All straight bourbon whiskeys, all bourbons that we bought or we own or we traded for, but we bought every single one of these on the table. Well, we traded for
two of them, I think.
Yeah, 2 of them we traded for, but past that, we bought them, we own them. We always have this rule of if we don't actually own a bottle, we're not going to put it in the bourbons of the year. Also, by the way, we blinded all of these. We've mixed them up. I blinded them. Bill's blinded them. I ranked them in my list. Then I blinded some separate lists out by themselves.
She had some higher than me, and then we kind of came to a consensus on where it fits in there.
I will say, there's a couple on this list that surprised the heck out of us, so I'm excited to show you which ones those are. I know you are too.
Yep. Now let's actually get into this.
Here we go. All right, so I guess I have the bottom
Number 10.
5.
She has the bottom 5 over there. I got top 5 over here.
I feel like whenever we say the lower 5, it seems really bad, but they're not bad because these are the top 10, the best bourbons of 2024. All right.
That we have.
This is our list. Okay, so number 10 on the list is Old Forester 1924. It's fitting. 10 years old, number 10.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one too because by itself it's great. In a blind, it doesn't ever do well. So that's why it's at the bottom.
It's crazy. It has never performed well in a blind because one time you gave it to me on a live stream in a blind and it ended up lower. So yes, again, on its own, it's really, really good. But in the blind, it performs like crap. It's weird
that's
how
why it's
some
at the
of
bottom
these
of
are.
the list.
So that's one. Number 10.
Number 10. Number 9.
Number 9. This one was one we kind of battled back and forth on.
I love this bottle.
No, I think it's fantastic. It's one of those, again, alone for me, I really, really liked it. But in the blind, I didn't like it.
This is Booker's Reserves, by the way.
Booker's Reserves. Oh, this is fantastic. It really is. It's delicious. It's full of flavor. I just love it.
Yeah, it's a great bottle. And this is one where we had to kind of fight to figure out where it went because I had this up higher in the list. You had it you had it, I think, at 10 or something before. Anyway, we had to fight to figure out where this one went.
That's just because I didn't like the way it tasted in the blind against some other things. So that's fine. All right, so number 9, Booker's
9.
Reserves. Number 8.
This is one that... This is a polarizing one. Disco 12. This one almost didn't make the list, but then made the list, and it was kind of... We were wishy-washy on it. Because this is our actually second bottle of this one. Same thing with the 1924. It was just one that it's really good, but then it also has weird nose moments.
But it's like one of those that when you drink it one moment, it's like fantastic. Then you drink it the next moment, and you're like, what the and then you just kind of go back and forth with it, and then it has a youthful nose, but then it doesn't have a youthful nose, and it just was like, ugh.
I think it could have been combined with where it was blinding and what it was drank next to, because it could have been like an Old Forester 1924 situation where drink it by itself, great. Drinking it in a blind, not as good.
Which we were one of the few channels, I guess, earlier in the year that when we did this review, we didn't have as high of love and praise for it as some other people did, which is fine, but it's also interesting to see how it performs in a blind, and that's where we ended up. So we ended up with number 8 for the Disco 12, Bardstown Discovery Series 12. I think I actually like the 11 better.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know, but they're really good. Excited to see what comes out with the 13. So moving on to number 7. Number 7 on the list.
This actually is not a bourbon.
It's not a straight bourbon. Well, it is, but not. This is Jack Daniel's 10-year. This is
10-year batch 3. So we tried the 12. We don't own a 12. And we tried the 12 batch 2 and 10 batch 3. We like the 10 batch 3 more than the 12. So that's what's on this list.
It's fantastic. It really is a delicious pour.
It's really
we got a sample of it before. Jack Daniel's is putting out some bangers. I know 14 is coming out this year. I can't wait for that. So excited. But for number 7, this is a great bottle. All right.
Now the first surprise bottle on the list.
Oh my gosh.
But it might not be a surprise. I don't know.
This is one of the best performers in a blind.
Yes.
Shocked the heck out of us several times. And that is The Wild Turkey 8-year Jimmy Russell 70th edition. This one blew my mind in a blind. Like every time it just kept coming out higher and higher. We actually originally were going to leave this out.
Yeah, we just threw it in the blind originally just because we didn't even think it would be in the top 10. Because we had a couple other bottles in there too, but it just like, holy crap, like it actually finished up really high.
It kept finishing up high and really high against some crazy bottles for an 8-year-old bourbon.
Yeah, so if you ever see these Wild Turkey, the Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary, don't sleep on these, pick them up. I want more of them.
I want 100 million of these. This is turkey in
all
of its glory.
It's a $50 bottle.
A $50 bottle that a lot of people are finding in many places. I know some people still haven't, and I'm sorry, but this is fantastic.
And this is one we actually had to trade for because we never found it here in town. One of our friends found it, and then we traded. So I don't even remember what I traded for it. Traded something for it.
I can't even remember. Yeah. But it's fantastic. We love it, and it is turkey through and through, and I love turkey. And you guys know we both love turkey. So, all right, let's move on. So that's number 7.
Bottom 5, done and gone.
Bye.
Top 5.
Oh,
here we go.
Before we get to the top 5.
Here we don't go.
No, before we get to the top 5, if you guys have not subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe. We have a lot of big things coming for you in 2025. Hit the like button, leave us a comment, tell us what your top 10 bourbons of the year are. They're really, I don't know, it's fun. I'm excited to see what happens in 2025. If you haven't watched our predictions video, by the way, we put that out already too. So check out our predictions video for this year. And now, let's move on to the top 5.
Top 5 now. This is one we didn't like at first, but then it did get in the blind.
It did.
Heaven Hill 18.
We were disappointed
The
for
Heritage Collection, I think is what it is. Heaven Hill Heritage Collection, 18-year. Yep.
So
I know a lot of people don't like this bottle as much. We didn't like it as much, but we threw it in the blind, and it did damn good.
Several times. And we put it up. I mean, we put it back and forth in the blind and moved it around and put it in different blinds, and it kept performing well. But how much it costs and everything, that was
it is an
one.
Expensive bottle.
It's too expensive for what it is. But it is really, really good, and that's why it made our top 5. But price-wise, just not. It kind of missed the mark there. So, all right.
All right. Number 4. This is one I didn't agree with. This is her. I had this lower on the list. You had it higher on the list, and then we kind of came to a consensus on where this goes. And I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with this, but hey, this is our list, our profiles.
Yeah. Okay, well, you make it sound like it is a horrible bottle. This is Four Roses limited edition, 2024 release. I am a big Four Roses fan. Everybody knows that. But the interesting thing is when we blinded this against the last year's release, the 2023 release, and then the 2019 release, it finished right next to the 135th. So I think it's a fantastic bottle. I think it's delicious. The finish on this is what always performed really well for me in the blinds. The finish just goes on for days, and it has so much flavor and the spice and everything. I really just enjoy it. So it performed a little bit higher for me, a little bit lower for you.
Every time, we blinded this multiple times, and every time it performed higher for you, lower for me, and we kind of came to a consensus on where it fits in this list.
But what is crazy to me about these blinds is how some things, you don't even realize what you're drinking in a blind of 10 or 5 or whatever with these, even though you kind of know some things are in the list, you can't place them where they go just because they taste so different next to another bottle. So I love this Four Roses limited edition from this year. I think it's really good. It's not the best ever, but it is good, and that's why it's number 4.
Number 4. You ready for number 3?
Oh, this is a big
number
surprise.
3, surprise one. We just got this bottle at Christmas. Elijah Craig C924.
Crazy.
Beat Four Roses and Heaven Hill 18.
It did. It's fantastic.
It's really good.
It's not as good as C923. A lot of people are going to say that.
But it's that different year.
Different year, different batch, different profile. It's crazy because we haven't even reviewed this bottle yet. I don't know if we're ever going to review it, but it's really freaking good and it's worth the money. These are some of the best values for your money you can find at $80.
It's too late to review this video. It came out 4 months ago. We just didn't get it until finally we found it in St. Louis.
Yeah, we still haven't seen it in Colorado.
Colorado.
But again, this is the best release from Elijah Craig all year, and it performed freaking amazingly in the blinds. It just loaded with flavor, and that's why it always stands out. It's like the proof and the flavor always just handle themselves really well in the blind.
All right, you ready for the top 2? Top 2. I bet you can guess one of them, but you might not guess the other.
Well, one is a bottle that we just got.
So, when we blinded these, preface this, we both came up with different conclusions on this one. So it's kind of like a 1A, 1B. They're both freaking awesome. I preferred one over the other, but it's kind of like what mood am I in type thing.
Yeah, mine is 100% a mood thing.
Yeah.
But also, whenever I blinded, I will say I blinded this while you were sick.
Yep.
And I picked like.
Well, I'm gonna pull both bottles out here.
Okay.
So
top
one,
two.
you probably know. I'm not gonna tell you whose is what with this yet. Russell's 15.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is a bottle we just recently got. George T. Stagg, 2024. This is one we traded for.
We did trade for. It's our very first George T. Stagg. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Holy moly.
So for me, it was George T. Stagg number 2, Russell's 15 number 1. For you,
it was George T. Stagg number 1 and Russell's 15 number 2. And I will preface this with the fact that when I did it in the 10-way blind, and I like the nose on it literally blew my socks off. Like the nose, I kept making like my own score notes and things like that, and I wrote down, and I did a nose profile, and then I did like a tasting profile, and I had like this crazy madness of a blind going on. And then I tasted it, and I was like, holy crap. It is super, super oaky. It is super like rich in brown sugar and maple and these really, really deep, rich notes.
Yep.
Which next to the Russell's 15 tasted completely different.
Yeah, this is oaky, and this is like
Cherry.
this is a sweet oak. This is more of a bitter oak, is what I was getting out of it, and that's why I had Russell's over this, and I think that's why you had this over Russell's.
Right, because it definitely fits our profile better.
Yep.
Now, I would never ever turn down either one of these ever, and I would pay a good amount of money for either one of these. Some of the best whiskey I've ever drank in my entire life, like both of them. I can't say enough good things about these. If you ever have the chance to buy a pour of them or buy a bottle, it will be worth every dollar that you spend on it. And
well, I don't know. That's relative.
Well,
that's
to
up to you to figure out.
well, I'm just saying, up to you, it would be relative. But for me, these are like the best two things that you could drink. Actually, I think these are some of the best pours in many years.
Yeah, I would agree.
Many years. So fantastic, love them. It's hard to put number 1, number 2 on these. So these are just 2, 1, 1, 2, 2.
1A and 1B.
Something like that.
1 and 1.
Crazy. I never thought we would own a George T. Stagg. So crazy. Delicious, love them. That's our top 10, really. I mean, it's a fantastic list of whiskey. I noticed a trend. A lot of these are from Kentucky, except one. Literally, all of these are legacy distilleries.
Yeah.
Minus, well, Bardstown, not necessarily legacy.
Well,
but
it's all Kentucky.
all Kentucky except Jack Daniel's 10.
Yeah. You all saying the Bardstown's all Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, yes, yep.
Yeah, they're all Kentucky.
So let us know in the comments what you guys think of our top 10 list. Do you agree? Would you move some things around? Also, share your list with us. I would love to see your list, your favorite bourbons, straight bourbons. Don't put anything else on the list. Just put your favorite bourbons of the year. You don't have to rank them. Just tell us in the comments. And that's it. That's really all we've got.
That's it. Stay tuned for the next video, which will have all our finished bourbons and rye and whatever else we decide to put in there.
Yep. Check it out and have a fantastic day. Can't wait for 2025. It's going to be a freaking amazing year.
Fingers crossed.
It's going to be an amazing year. I can't wait. So have a great day, guys. I'm Dara.
I'm Bill.
We'll see you next time right back here on The Average Drinker.